Good afternoon. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive, and welcome to our Westchester Weekly Update. It is Tuesday, June 21st, the longest day of the year, and we'll try to make this the shortest report of the year if we can. But we have some guests who are with us. The town supervisor of the town of Somers will be our lead guest, and Robert Scarano will talk about some of the things that he's working on in that town during his first 6 months as town supervisor. We also want to introduce you to our new commissioner of our finance department, Karen Hablow. We're very happy that she's joined our team. She will be here. Ken Jenkins, our deputy county executive, will also join us, and we'll go over a host of different things that are timely given the time of the year that we're in as we start to open up different facilities for recreational purposes. We'll touch on COVID as well as part of this. We'll also touch on the coming primary elections, so you know what's coming up in terms of early voting, and then the primary that will happen a week from today. We have postponed our normal Monday update to today because yesterday was a national holiday, Juneteenth, reflecting of the day in which the end of slavery was announced in Texas. There were many community events around the county in different jurisdictions. So today's update will be followed next Monday by our normal Monday update at 2 o'clock. We always try to invite different chief elected officials from the various municipalities. There were 45 of them in Westchester County. We have 20 villages, 19 towns, and 6 cities, and they range in size and scope. Those county communities that are in the northern part of the county are 30 miles away, 35 miles away from those in the southern part. Each one has a different flavor. Today we've invited, and we're very happy that he is here, the new town supervisor of the town of Somers. Somers is a town of 23,000 people. It's along the northern border of Westchester County, sort of central and slightly to the east of central. It is the home to the county's Lasden Park and also the county's Muscoot Farms, right on Route 35, which traverses through the southern part of the town of Somers. And there's a lot of interesting things in the community, and they have their challenges, and they're working very hard on them. So I'd like to introduce first as a leadoff our municipal partner for the week, the town supervisor for the town of Somers, Robert Scarano. Robert, thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you so much, George. Appreciate it. Well, thank you, everybody, for allowing me to have the opportunity to speak for a few minutes here today. Give you a little update about Somers and where we are currently. I know you're going to touch on COVID here in a little bit, but let me just give a little bit of information. We currently have about 80 cases since last Friday, and that's 2 new cases there. We've done a lot as far as bringing in new businesses since COVID started. We have 15 new businesses that did come into the town of Somers, so pretty excited about that on a standpoint. What we did for a lot of the businesses in town, especially the restaurants, we extended outdoor dining again for another year. So that was something that we found some information about. People really enjoyed that, being able to outdoor dine. So we extended that one more year. Like any municipality out there, we've had some challenges along the way. With our highway department, to talk a little bit about them. As asphalt prices go up, we decided to step up our paving here this year. And try to use some of our budget in regards to that. As long as that as well, we also are putting a new salt shed in. We have 33 square miles, so we have a lot of territory to cover. We're putting a new salt shed in, and we have some grant money that we're using towards that as well. We've done a lot in my first 6 months when it comes to energy conservation. We adopted the New York stretch code for building materials and builders coming on board. We've also added 4 new EV charging stations throughout the town. And this is pretty impressive on our part. We've also, what we're doing too, is we're having a compost facility. People can bring their food scraps in. And also we had NYPA come in and did an audit for us for all municipality buildings, also our ball fields, to see if we can save some money in conservation on our lights as well. We're in the final phases here, with a bunch of other stuff. So when we talk about the NYPA in that regard, we've also worked with NYSEG as well. NYSEG was a big supporter for ours, especially when we had all those storms. They've done a lot of great work in cutting down the trees and doing the wires, but we've been left with these double poles. So myself and my committee, we've had NYSEG, we've had Verizon, we also had Altice come together, and since April, we've taken down 50 poles in the town of Somers, the double poles just to 1 pole in the air. So we've been advancing on that. We've done a lot for our senior population, especially at Heritage Hills. We're putting in a new generator there. We have 4 1,000-gallon propane tanks. Heritage Hills leads as our, if there's a disaster relief site or something of that nature, people use Heritage Hills for the entire town to come there. So that was something that we've done for Heritage Hills. We're working hand in hand with them as well, and we've had a lot of support with them. We've applied to help out our highway department too. We've applied for a vac truck. We're one of the only municipalities in Westchester County that doesn't have a vac truck, so we have to go out to other municipalities to, if we need those services, so we have to go to other municipalities to bring that services in. So we applied for that through a grant that we have. We've done a lot of updates for our library. We've had some new windows, and we put some new carpets in there. Like any municipality, a lot of our buildings need some repair, and our library is one of those, so we've been addressing that. We're also addressing our senior center, our senior population. We have one of the biggest populations around, but also we provide Meals on Wheels services out of our Van Tassel facility. So we've been doing our part with that. We've hired a few new drivers to help deliver those to seniors in need who need food. So we've been doing that as well. We've hired some part-time police officers, another part-time police officer, still adding to our police department. We've also hired those new drivers for our nutrition program to bring those services to town. We just had, in regards with Keep America Beautiful, we've adopted the name Keep Somers Beautiful. It's an affiliation with Keep America Beautiful. We just did some sprucing up of the Elephant Hotel. A national company called Pernod Ricard made a generous donation of $5,000 to help beautify our town. They closed down their offices worldwide for everybody. All their employees went out to community service throughout there, and they chose Somers as one of those towns. So the Elephant Hotel just got a new facelift, so we're very excited about that. And then the last but not least, one of the things that we're excited about, we have our Independence Day celebration here on the 25th. Fireworks will go off at night, of course, but the doors open at 4 p.m. And just a little bit of update here on the town of Somers. And again, George, thank you so much for allowing me to come here and give Cutter the update, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you very much. That's Robert Scarano, who's the town supervisor of Somers. And let me reinforce that the festivities that Somers will kick off this weekend for Independence Day and the fireworks will be terrific. If you're going to go to Reese Park, though, try to get there very early. Parking is at a premium. And you'll have a great time, and you'll meet some of the nicest people you could meet in the town of Somers. Next week, we'll have another individual from one of our various communities. Just to put it in perspective, Somers in the northern part of the county is one of the largest jurisdictions in terms of size area. He mentioned 33 square miles. The village of Larchmont, a separate jurisdiction, is 1 square mile. The city of Mount Vernon is 4 square miles. So it gives you an idea of the size and scope of Somers with both a suburban and a rural flavor to the population. In any event, we're going to touch on some of the policy issues now here at the county. And we want to give you a little update on our transportation report. You are aware that we announced for June 1st, fare-free rides across our Beeline bus system. You can ride a Beeline bus and a paratransit bus without paying a fare. In this month of June, in July, in August, and the first week of September leading up to Labor Day. Absolutely fare-free. You don't need to show identification card. You need to get on it and ride it. And with that, Beeline ridership for the week from June 6th to June 12th was approximately 475,700 riders. It's based on APC data, and that's up about 20% from the prior week. And of course, that's due to the fact that it's free. It makes it a lot easier for you to want to take the bus if it doesn't cost you anything. And that was part of the thinking of this. We wanted to make it a way to reintroduce the bus system to those people who could ride the bus, given the cost of gasoline at the pump, even though we've tried to take away some sales tax, that has a relatively small effect. If you can take a bus ride in lieu of taking a drive that's free, that is economically beneficial for you. There are a number of people that ride the bus system regularly, and there are some people who have the option of taking the bus as an alternative to driving their own car. So we're encouraged that there was about a 20% increase week over week in terms of ridership, and we'll see how this fare-free experiment goes as we go forward. Ridership is still, however, lower than what it was pre-pandemic. And if you want to compare June of 2019 to this year, there's still a gap, and I think COVID has had its effect on people feeling as comfortable as they did feel in any sort of mass transit system. That's reflected in Metro North train ridership and subway ridership, even intercity rail transit on Amtrak, and even to some degree on our airplanes. We lost revenue. This will be important to our next guest. We lost revenue by doing this, by not taking in fares. We expected to have received a certain amount of money, and we've estimated the reduction so far to be about $635,000. That is money that we would have received from the fare box that we do not have. However, because we have done so well in so many other revenue categories, this does not require us to cut any other service. We can absorb this and the totality of this experiment. We can absorb that revenue loss and still have a balanced budget as we go through the year. And we're encouraged that we can take some of these initiatives to try to see if we can draw ridership that will become committed to it, and then whatever we do going forward in terms of the fare box. The Metro North ridership, which is sometimes connected to our B-Line bus system. There are people who take the bus to get to a Metro North train, or in some cases to the New York City subway system in the southern part of the county. There's a slight increase in Metro North ridership. That's 158,000 individuals, but it's only about 60% of their pre-pandemic weekday average ridership. So there still is a gap between those people who are going into New York City for business purposes, returning to their offices from what it was prior to the pandemic till now. Some of the routes have not recovered. It really depends on what your point of origination of the trip is and your destination point as to what happens. Over the course of Liberty Lines, which operates the buses, they've reported an accumulated number of cases of COVID that's a little bit more than the prior week before. We're running about, in round numbers, about 250 cumulative confirmed cases of COVID on the Liberty Lines system amongst drivers and so forth. That, I think, is being mitigated by the severity of the disease, and we'll talk more about that at the end of our report. But we have worked particularly not to lose drivers on the route. That's very important, because when we lose drivers, then we can't sufficiently staff the route and have the buses ride over that period of time. So overall, we're pleased with the steps we've taken so far. As I've talked to various people, certainly those in our senior citizen world, those people who are poor, indigent, need the bus system as a means of transit, have been very encouraged by the experiment that we're doing, and we hope you benefit from it. If you have nothing to do, whatever town or city you live in, get on a B-Line bus, ride it to the end of the line. It's a perfectly good way to spend the day, pack a lunch, or get off in one of the many communities where we have different activities and get a chance to walk around and get a flavor of a different part of Westchester. We try to expose different parts of Westchester to you when we have the different municipal officials coming in, so that they can talk about what it's like in Somers, what it's like in Pelham, what it's like in Pound Ridge or Hastings, or any of these other options and locations. Next, I'd like to introduce a new member of our executive team in the county government. We have a new commissioner of finance. Karen Hablow is that individual. She's with us here. She's previously served as the Commissioner of Finance for Orange County, based in Goshen, New York. And Orange County is a sizable county, over 300,000 in population, but in terms of size and scope, Westchester is that much larger at 1 million people. And the nature of the responsibilities that we have are similar, but again, size of scope, size of department are greater. So we're very happy that Karen has agreed to join us. She brings extremely relevant information and experience to be able to do this. She has had a long and accomplished career in managing financial operations, both in the private sector and in the public sector. She has background with accounting, and we think all of that is very important. Budget development, fiscal operations, fiscal reporting, all of these things that are necessary in her new assignment, and she has shown that in her past. She has a master's degree in business administration from NYU, from the Stern School, and about as close as I can come to that is I have a master's degree from the Wagner School, and there are certain courses that you take in common between the two schools, one being a business degree, the other a public administration degree. The toughest courses I had going for my MPA were the Stern School, statistics and macroeconomics courses. So she has successfully achieved that with an MBA from NYU, from Stern. She's managed in Orange County an $830 million budget, including payroll, accounting, real property and taxation, tax, debt issuance and management, capital plan, and investment functions for Orange County. Now, Orange County is a large county in the region. It's larger than Dutchess, Putnam, Rockland County. It's larger than Ulster County, but it compares to Westchester, 330,000, 350,000 people to 1 million people in Westchester. We have a $2.2 billion budget in comparison to the $830 million of Orange County. So we're appreciative that she'll take those skills now into this arena and to be helpful, because our Department of Finance has some of the same responsibilities that she had in Orange County. Westchester County has a high rating agency. We're AA plus or AA1, depending on the different agencies, Standard & Poor's, Fitch, Moody's. We have recently had a slight upgrade in our bond rating after having a significant decrease at the end of the year from 2017. So we're hopeful that with wise public policy and fiscal policy, we'll be able to restore that AAA bond rating over the next couple of years. It does take a certain amount of time before the Wall Street rating agencies has confidence. They don't do it for a year or two. They want to see sort of a pattern of behavior. Hopefully we're showing that pattern of behavior, and hopefully Karen can help us accomplish those missions. So let me introduce our new Commissioner of Finance, Karen Hablow. Karen, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Good afternoon. It is an honor to be here. First of all, I would like to thank County Executive Latimer and his executive team for this great opportunity. I am very appreciative of their confidence and trust in my ability to excel in this important role. As the county executive mentioned, I have more than 15 years experience in both public and private financial organizations. Most recently, I did serve 6 years in the role of Commissioner of Finance in Orange County, New York, under my leadership, the Finance Department earned several awards for financial reporting and liquidity management as a result of significant increases in returns on investments. In addition, under my tenure, the county received an upgrade in credit rating from Moody's rating agency. I am committed to continuing that success here in Westchester County, where I have a strong, talented group of deputies and managers ready to support me. Over the past few years, it is evident that under the leadership of County Executive Latimer and Deputy County Executive Jenkins, the county's fiscal position has greatly improved. As Commissioner of Finance, I am looking forward to working with my team to provide innovative and efficient financial services to all who we serve, including vendors, employees, other internal departments, and most importantly, the taxpayers of Westchester. It is through these efforts that we will continue to solidify the financial strength of the county for many years to come. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen Hablow, who serves now as our Commissioner of Finance for Westchester County. I want to publicly thank Anne Marie Berg, who has previously served during our administration for the prior 4 years as Commissioner of Finance, prior to now her retirement. She served on the prior administration. She did a very fine job, Anne Marie Berg, and now being followed by Karen Hablow, we believe we can maintain that same level of effort and responsibility. And I also want to give a shout out to my colleague, Orange County Executive Steve Newhouse, who's very gracious in losing Karen to us as a great career opportunity for her. He is a fine gentleman, has served his nation proudly in the military reserves, has been deployed a number of times, even as county executive, and I know he has strong replacements for Karen in Orange County, so we continue to move forward as a region in these areas. We're happy to have Karen as part of our team. Now we're going to talk about some of the recreational things that are happening here in Westchester County. This weekend, we have a couple of major heritage festivals. Now, we've started the festival process. You may remember we suspended them in 2020 and we suspended them in 2021 for fear of COVID virus spread. And in canceling them, we knew that that was something that each of these different groups really, felt badly about. And so now that we've reinstituted it with vaccination and masking, trying to reduce the amount of flow, we're now able to go back to a much more normal environment. This Saturday, June 25th, from noon until 6 at Ridge Road Park in Hartsdale, we will have the American Irish Association of Westchester having the Irish Heritage Celebration, and this year they're going to specifically honor Westchester County's hospital workers, the first responders in the medical field that have done such a great job. Irish Heritage Day begins at noon. There's a Catholic Mass that will start at 12:30. They will have featured entertainment, as you might imagine, in the Irish tradition. The Celtic Mikes, Susan and Gerard Irish Band, Bridget Flynn, School of Irish Dancers, and the New York Studio of Irish Dance. There will also be activities for the children, including the Fitmobile. You'll also be able to find authentic Irish goods from various vendors, and food and beverages will be available for purchase. Admission to this day is $5 per adult. Children under 14 are free, and parking is free at Ridge Road Park. The festival will be held rain or shine. Let's hope for rain. Seating is informal. You can bring blankets or folding chairs for seating on the lawn. No coolers will be allowed. We have other heritage festivals that are coming up, and then this Sunday, the next day, from noon to 6 at Kensico Dam Plaza, we have the African American Heritage Day. That, too, will be a terrific event in which we expect large crowds. And once again, we hope for a whole weekend full of good weather so that both our Irish friends and our African American friends can enjoy that. It'll be followed in the coming weeks, Sunday, July 10th, the Hispanic Heritage Festival at Kensico Dam Plaza. On July 24th, Sunday, the Italian Heritage Festival from noon to 6 at Kensico. The South Asian, India Heritage Festival, Sunday, August 7th at Kensico Dam Plaza. The Jewish Heritage Festival on Saturday, August 21st, also Kensico Dam Plaza, and the Muslim Heritage Festival on Sunday, August 28th, from noon to 6 at Kensico Dam Plaza. The Irish Heritage Day is presented by the Westchester County Parks Association and the American Irish Association of Westchester County. Our African American Heritage Festival is supported by our African American Advisory Board and a number of very important groups in the African American community. You will see representatives of the NAACP there and other organizations as well. So I have some Irish heritage, Ken has some African American heritage, and we both share each other's heritages as much as we can, and we invite you to come out. This is one of the things that Westchester County has that shows that we are a mosaic of people. Great diversity in this county, and that diversity gives us strength, gives us economic strength as well as social fairness. And we want you to come out and enjoy yourself in the beautiful setting of Kensico Dam Plaza or Ridge Road Park, both of which are really terrific areas. Also, in the area of we're restoring things that we had to cancel due to COVID, we are returning on July 3rd to Kensico Dam Plaza the day before Independence Day for Music Fest and fireworks. And this is something, once again, we had to cancel, but we're going to light up the night sky on Sunday, July 3rd. This year, July 4th, Independence Day, is on a Monday. And so we'll have thousands of people from Westchester, and they'll have family and friends with them. Kensico Dam Plaza. Make a note on your calendar. We're still a couple of weeks away, and we'll repeat it in some of our upcoming events. But on July 3rd, the Independence Gala will have pre-concert entertainment beginning at 5 p.m. with a guest DJ. The FDR Drive Band will play at 7 o'clock. I saw them last night in Pelham at the Gazebo Park where they started the local summer festivals. There'll be spectacular fireworks. You have the historic Kensico Dam behind you as a backdrop for this, and that starts about 9:15 after it gets dark. Admission and parking are free. We do suggest carpooling because parking, when you get this larger crowd at Kensico Dam, is limited, and it will be difficult. And you want to try to park as close as you can or carpool with other people, put a full car together and bring everybody up together. This Music Fest is sponsored by the Westchester County Parks Department, by the Parks Foundation. It's sponsored by Captain Lawrence Brewing Company, Westchester Parks Foundation I mentioned, and radio station 100.7 WHUD. And all of that will be a lot of fun. So start to mark your calendars now. You've got the Heritage Festivals coming up. We have fireworks at Kensico Dam. Ken is going to tell you about the pools in a second and the beaches. He's going to tell you about the Riverwalk. We have to mention Bicycle Sunday will continue to be extended through relevant weeks in probably in July. We normally have Bicycle Sundays in May and June, and then again in September and October. During COVID, because we didn't have other activities, we extended them through July and August, and that took financial support from the Westchester Parks Foundation and some other donors. So in 2020 and 2021, we went through July and August. Well, it became very popular to have the full summer, so this year we're able to do it for the month of July. We will take the month of August off. And we also take off the special holiday weekends. So Bicycle Sunday will occur this coming Sunday, and then we'll take a week off for the 4th of July weekend, and then we'll return for weekends in July, takes an August break, takes a break for Labor Day weekend, and then comes back in September and October. So Bicycle Sunday, Sundays from 10 to 2 on the Bronx River Parkway. So now to update things that relate to the pools and the beaches, our Deputy County Executive, Ken Jenkins. Ken?
Thanks, George. And certainly, again, making sure that people are getting out to the award-winning, nationally accredited park system that we have. It's so very, very great. And again, to have all the folks be able to see them over the festivals that we've had over the past few weeks. Another great thing is that our Parks, Recreation, and Conservation Group does is the pools and beaches. And the beaches have been open. The two beaches that we have, both Glen Island and Croton Point Park, have been open since Memorial Day weekend, just weekends only. And starting on the 24th, the pools join the party. That'll be open, and the county pools are Saxon Woods in White Plains, Sprain Ridge Park and Tibbetts Brook Park in Yonkers, and Wilson Woods Park in Mount Vernon. Glen Island again, and all four of those pools from June 24th will be open through Labor Day through September 5th. Make sure that you could take the bus, because the buses are free during that time as well. But again, all of those facilities are going to be open from 11 to 6:30 p.m. with the last entry at a pool or the beach at 6 p.m. In Croton Point Park, the beach is only going to be open on the weekends. We have tremendous work that's going on, again, from the county executive's leadership, the continued investment in Westchester County to make sure that we have other things happening in Croton Point Park from a investment perspective and doing construction. So the beach is only going to be open at Croton Point Park on the weekend. For all of the county pools, Westchester County residencies was required at the Glen Island Park and all of our pools. The proof of residency must be shown with either a Westchester County Park Pass, which you can get from the Parks Department, and I'm sure we have that online as well, or the New York State driver's license that has a valid Westchester County address. The admission fees apply at all the beach and pool facilities, and parking fees apply at Tibbetts Brook Park, Croton Point Park, and in Glen Island. So park passes are available for discounted admission and are available at various locations. Make sure you go to parks.westchestergov.com to get as much information as possible about all of the outstanding facilities. And again, over the last 2 years, as we're coming out of COVID, now that these particular parks, there are not the same level of restrictions that there were in 2020. In 2021, we're moving forward. And again, all of those parks, beaches, and pools will be open starting on the 24th. It's really exciting. Well, we'll also have some other additional information that we're going through, again, in the view of making sure that we have public information happening at a different park in Kingsland Point Park in that area around the Riverwalk, which is another tremendous, tremendous asset of Westchester County that the county has invested in. The Riverwalk that goes right from the Bronx line that can go right up to the Hudson and see some beautiful, beautiful scenic things happening on our Riverwalk. So in Tarrytown, there's about a mile stretch right around the Mario M. Cuomo Bridge that has a gap right now. So we can go from Yonkers and get right up to the bridge, and then there's a mile gap, and then it picks up and then goes north again. Well, Tarrytown, Village of Tarrytown, Mayor Karen Brown and Scenic Hudson are inviting everyone to participate in a community open house to learn more about that Westchester Riverwalk connection. And again, this has been a long time coming in trying to make sure that all of the pieces of the Riverwalk, where everyone can take in the beauty of Westchester County and certainly the majestic Hudson River. It's going to be on the 22nd, that's tomorrow, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Tarrytown Senior Center. That's 240 West Main Street in Tarrytown. And this community open house is going to be held so the public can find out more about the plan to close that 1 mile gap. There's going to be a bridge that goes over the MTA tracks to make sure that we can connect the north and the south together. And again, we want to hear everyone's comments at that. So make sure that you participate, hear more about the project, and give your input. The county and the state have both set aside funds to help launch the environmental review process and begin the design phase of this outstanding project that's going to allow, again, so many more people to have the opportunity to see all of the beauty of the Hudson River. So it's going to extend the Hudson River Walk Trail from Tarrytown up through this shared path on the Governor Mario M. Cuomo Bridge, and make an accessible connection further down south to the Riverwalk on Route 9 and the Old Croton Aqueduct. There's just so much tremendous history in Westchester County, and certainly it was great having the Somers Supervisor Robert Scarano here to do that. The county executive and I, get around. Actually had dinner last night in the town of Somers at Purdy's Farmer and the Fish, and it's a great restaurant. But again, there's so many great things happening in Westchester County. Please put them on your calendar and take advantage of everything that Westchester County has to offer. Back to you, George.
Thanks very much. Ken Jenkins, our Deputy County Executive. We want to highlight now that we are in the middle of early voting in the state primary, and there's going to be 2 primaries this summer. It's a rather long story as to how we got there, and you can follow it in any of the media outlets. We'll just try to give you the information that's practical for the moment. Primaries are underway right now for statewide governor in both the Democratic and the Republican parties, lieutenant governor in the Democratic Party, and then various locations in Westchester County, and of course outside of Westchester County, for state assembly races in 2 specific districts. There are some local races in the village of Mamaroneck. There's some party positions that are being competed for. And the traditional way that we would vote would be on a primary day, single day. That day is a week from today, Tuesday, June 28th. And on Tuesday, June 28th, you can vote at any of your local polling place, wherever you're accustomed to voting, that recreation center, that school, that firehouse, whatever it is nearby where you live. And the polls open a week from today from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. However, a number of years ago, New York began its first experience with early voting, and that's something that hasn't been done in New York prior to, I believe, 2019, 2020. And that now means that between today, this being Tuesday, June 21st, and this Sunday, the 26th, you'll be able to go and vote at one of our regional locations around the county, and you could vote at any of those locations, no matter where you may live. The time frame for voting differs by day. And since we are here on Tuesday, the polls for early voting will stay open until 8 o'clock tonight. And Thursday is just like Tuesday. The polling starts at 12 noon and goes to 8 p.m. at these locations today, Tuesday, and also on Thursday. So if you have to vote late after work hours, whatever your responsibilities may be, you can vote up until 8 o'clock at these locations today, Tuesday, or on Thursday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday follows the same pattern, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. At these various locations. And then Saturday and Sunday, which closes out this period, voting is from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. So it's a little bit different each day. You have to sort of know what works for your schedule. If you have any questions, you can go on the website for the Westchester County Board of Elections, and the information will be available to you so that you can know each of the different days. Now, there are 23 early voting centers around the county. We may have a graphic that will show some of the locations. I'm not going to read every address because it's a long list of 23. Let me just say quickly that you can vote at any of these locations. You can vote to one that's closest to you, maybe one close to where you work, or if you have a reason to go shopping in another part of the county and you have discretionary time, you can go in a location near them. But we have sites at the Eastchester Library, the Dobbs Ferry Village Hall, Greenberg Town Hall, St. Gregory the Great Church in Harrison, the Mamaroneck Town Center in Mamaroneck Village and Town, the village offices in the municipal building in Mount Kisco, the Mount Pleasant Community Center, the Caputo Community Center in Ossining, Pound Ridge Townhouse, which is the main building for local town government, the Rye Brook Firehouse, Somers Townhouse, also where Somers Town Government is based, the Jefferson Village Annex, the Yorktown Cultural Center on Commerce Street, the Dole Center on the south side of Mount Vernon City Hall, right in the heart of town, New Rochelle City Hall in the annex in the back of where New Rochelle City Hall is, and in New Rochelle's United Methodist Church further north on North Avenue. Peekskill Nutrition Center, which is also part of the library context, the field library, the Peekskill Lincoln Depot Museum, that's very appropriate, down by the waterfront and the train station in Peekskill. You can vote at the Westchester County Board of Elections right here in downtown White Plains, at the Grinton Will Library in Yonkers on the east side of town on Central Avenue, in the Riverfront Library, Larkin Center, close to the train tracks on the west side of town, and at the Nodine Hill Community Center on Fillmore Street. That's 23 possible locations where you can vote. And we encourage you to vote, obviously, but we encourage you to study up on the various issues. We'll just remind you that in the statewide races, there is a Republican primary for the governorship of the state of New York. The candidates for governor are Rob Astorino, Andrew Giuliani, Harry Wilson, and Lee Zeldin. On the Democratic side, the Democratic candidates for governor are Kathy Hochul, Thomas Suozzi, and Jumaane Williams. And there is also a lieutenant governor primary on the Democratic side with Ana Maria Arquilla, Diana Reyna, and Antonio Delgado as the three candidates. And you can certainly read up on the candidates and go forward as you see fit. If you are interested in getting an absentee ballot, there's some ballot procedures. Rather than try to explain them, I encourage you to go to the website for the Board of Elections. You can reach it directly, or you can access it through westchestergov.com. You can download a ballot request, but there are certain deadlines, dates by which you have to apply for the ballot. But once you decide to do an absentee ballot, then you cannot vote early or at the polling booth. We want to make sure there's no double voting, any of these concerns that people have over voter fraud. Those concerns do not exist in Westchester County, but we want to make sure you understand if you decide to do an absentee ballot and you sign up for one, then you have to follow through with that. If not, you can vote early or you can vote on the day of the primary. But these are important races. Governorship is a very powerful position. It has great control over the New York State budget. It has great both power to advance ideas and to veto ideas. And so the governorship in both of the two major parties is up for grabs, lieutenant governor in the Democratic Party. And then there are two assembly races. Both are on the western side of the county. One is the district that includes Greenburgh, Mount Pleasant, and the respective river villages. The other one is the district just north of that starts at Ossining and goes up through Peekskill, includes the town of Cortland, and it goes up into Putnam County. And you have a number of different candidates competing in that. A little later this summer, in August 23rd, Tuesday, August 23rd, there will be a second primary, and that will be for congressional races and state Senate races. We'll cover that lineup with you as we get closer to that date so that you know when that's happening. There will be early voting for that primary as well, which will begin sometime around mid-August, and you'll be well informed of those things so that you can stay on top of it. But again, early voting is open now at any of those 23 locations up through this Sunday. There's no voting on Monday, the 27th. And then on Tuesday, the 28th, a week from today, will be the final opportunity to vote. And then depending on how close or far away the votes are, that will determine how fast we know the results. And these are primary results to pick candidates to run in these parties for these positions in November. Once we get through this process, you know who the Democratic or the Republican candidates are, and then they'll have their competition, in which you'll have a chance to vote in November. Let me close with some update on COVID. Right now, we're watching a flattening out of the numbers on COVID here in Westchester County. They might tick up, they might tick down a little bit. In the most recent numbers, we have 2,694 active cases. 2 months ago to the day, we had 2,859 active cases. We went up a little bit in the intervening 2 months, but the bottom line is from April 20th to June 20th, no negligible increase in the amount of infections. There's a certain infection rate. It's in single digits. People who have been infected have the disease, but have been a very small number of them hospitalized. Similar situation, 110 hospitalizations today. 1 month ago, 109 hospitalizations, different people. But we see sort of a flattening out of that. There are still fatalities, anywhere from 8 to 12 fatalities in a month. Every fatality is a tragedy. A person who's loved has been lost. But we are in a very different place than we were in the early stages of the pandemic when we had horrific nights in terms of fatalities. And we're hopeful now that with a high percentage of vaccination, we in Westchester can avoid the worst of this, which is hospitalization for the illness and or fatality, that we get the disease, our antibodies fight it off. Sometimes we're asymptomatic, if that's the case. But we're not letting COVID continue to have a vice-like grip on us. As you can see, we're opening up our recreational facilities. We are trying to have as normal a life as we can. We want to be prudent and practical. If you want to wear a mask, wear it. If you haven't been vaccinated, get vaccinated. Get an appropriate third shot or fourth shot, aka the booster shot. Give yourself the best possible protection. And during the summertime, we hope that the numbers will continue to be low. School's out, and hopefully we'll see what happens when we get into the fall. So with that, we'll see from our friend Lisa Reyes if we have any questions from the press. We do not. Lisa Reyes, our communications manager, was here. She did a terrific job as the MC on Friday night for the Dominican Cultural Association in Yonkers. And she is doing a great job for us here in our government, along with our other communications team people led by Catherine Chaffee. So if there are any members of the press that are watching and they want to follow up with us, contact Catherine Chaffee at 914-995-2932, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. That's myself or Ken, our new Commissioner of Finance, Karen Hablow, and certainly anything for Town Supervisor Robert Scarone, we'll pass them on. We thank you for watching. We hope you have a safe week. We have some other things to communicate this week. We're going to give you an update on crime statistics this week. We hope to talk a little bit about the improvements that we've made in a couple of other areas, and so we won't tease them out. We'll have a chance to communicate with you as we see forward going ahead. So thank you very much. Have a great day. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Thanks for watching.